got 12 cologne fragrances here that work great in the spring, and we'll just get right into this. The first one is Melody of Sweet Fruits from Dua, and this is Dolce Melodia from Sospiro. It's fruity, sweet, creamy, floral, synthetic. Now this one leans feminine. If you don't like feminine leaning like tropical, floral, musky scent profiles, you might want to stay away from this one. It's definitely a feminine lean in, but it's not even close to too feminine for me. I love this one. I have a 10 ml decant that I did a side-by-side on in this one. I was thinking I was going to buy a whole bottle until Dua came out with this, and this is about 85% close. It's close enough for me. Great performance on this one. The original is great, and so is this one. It's got a lot of orange and saffron off the top, some jasmine, pear, some gardenia, rose, and blackcurrant in the middle. And then as it dries down, you get a lot of woods, musk, and vanilla. So some of those, the gardenia and the white musk and the vanilla and some of the jasmine, all that kind of, that pushes it into feminine territory, but it's super tropical. This definitely works great in the summer too, in the high heat. It may even be better for that, but I don't, for whatever reason, just some of the muskiness and all this, I like wearing it in the springtime. And this is great. Dua did a great job on this one. And really, the house of Sospiro, I pretty much like everything I've tried from them. Just a real quality house, and this is a great fragrance. All right, Ajmal Evoke Gold is Prada L'Homme. This one's a little more dense than Prada and a little more ambery out of the gate. A little less spicy too, and definitely not as nuanced as the original, but better performance than the original. Real decent clone of it. Maybe, I don't know, 75-80% close. There are some differences, as I stated, but still a really nice fragrance. And I do like Prada L'Homme a little better, but this is a powdery, fresh, creamy, floral, spicy, some nice neroli and pepper off the top. Then there's some amber, iris, and geranium, and then some wood and patchouli as it dries down. Just a real nice, comforting scent profile. And yeah, the real deal Prada L'Homme is really not that expensive anymore, so it's not a bad idea to go with the real thing. But if you want a little bit of a twist on the DNA, a denser version of it with a little bit better performance, this one works really good. So you really can't go wrong either way. If you get the regular Prada, it's only like, you can get the big bottle now for like $60, and this is only like $20 now. So either way, you're not going wrong. This is a great fragrance, and I love the way this smells. But the original is also great. Next up is Alexandria Barricade, which is Mind Games Blockade. This is tropical Venice, tons of mango. This levels up the Venice DNA to me. Pretty close to the original. I got a decant. This is maybe in that 85% range. There's some nuances, and the original performs a bit harder than this one. This one doesn't perform quite as good as most Alexandrias, but still pretty decent performance. It's fruity, fresh, citrus, woody. Really nice mango and tomato leaf note in this. Bergamot and pink pepper off the top. Star anise, cyclamen, lavender, ambrose star. It says there's oud listed, but there's no oud. You can't smell any oud in this. Patchouli and suede. So just a beautiful, well-rounded fragrance. If you smell like a Venice and Hachivat, just amp up the mango and some tropical notes, and this is what you get. So yeah, love this one, and this is a good interpretation of it. And this works in the summer too, but I prefer this scent profile in the spring. Great fragrance, great job on this one. All right, the next one is Mirror Image Mystique, which is YSL MYSLF. Love YSL MYSLF. Great fragrance. I first smelled it, I thought it was boring, but after I wore it a couple more times, I just love it. The problem with it is there's just no performance. Well, Matt Lusk over at Mirror Image, he solved that with this one. I'm getting about double the performance on this one. The other one, I'm only getting like 2 to 3 hours performance, whatever. On this one here, I'm getting a good 5 to 6, so that's double. Projects a little heavier even, and it's 85 to 90% accurate. It's not a real groundbreaking scent profile. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on it. There's a bunch of notes listed, but really the main things you're going to pick up is the bergamot, the orange blossom, and the ambro fix or ambroxan. That's what you're going to get. But it's just fresh and clean. It's definitely synthetic smelling, kind of Invictus-y. Some light florals in it from the orange blossom. A little bit of woods as it dries down. And it's just a sweet scent profile too, and just fresh, clean, versatile, easy going. A lot of similarities to Polo 67 too. A little bit more going on in Polo 67, but they're very similar scent profiles. And man, I love this. And Matt Lusk did a good job on this one. Like I said, he solved some of the performance problems of that fragrance. All right, next up from Alexandria Fragrances, this is Pacific Coast. This is inspired by Pacific Chill by LV. Pretty close too. I got this at least in that 85% range, maybe even a little higher. Alexandria does a good job on LV fragrances. So it's kind of like a mojito smell, which I really like. It's fruity, fresh, citrus, sweet, and green. And there's so much green notes in this. That's the reason I like to wear this in the spring more, but it's great in the summer. It's probably more of a summertime scent to a lot of people, but it's such a green, like fresh mojito type note going on in here that just works better for me in the spring. There's some nice fruits in here, some apricot, some orange, lemon. There's some peppermint in here to kind of like make it more invigorating. So it's super invigorating. Ambrette seed, blackcurrant. There's some fig, basil, carrot seed, coriander, date, and then a little bit of May rose, which you don't really pick up too much. Just a well-blended, fruity, uplifting scent profile that works great in spring or summer. So yeah, and Alexandria just kills it on these Louis Vuitton inspired fragrances. Great job on this one. This is a great fragrance. Love the original too. All right, Dua Vetivero is inspired by Vetiver Extrait from Roja Parfums, which is a 2012 release. And I've never smelled the real thing, so I can't say how close this is. But when I'm reading about the Vetiver Extraits, it smells a lot like Tom Ford Grey Vetiver and the Guerlain Vetiver. And I have smelled those. I've owned those, so I know exactly what they smell like. And this smells about like that. So yeah, if you're going to go get the real Roja, I would just go get the Tom Ford Grey Vetiver or the Guerlain Vetiver. It smells more like the Tom Ford Grey Vetiver to me. It's green, citrus, spicy, woody, a little bit of freshness to it. It's got a bunch of notes, but it's pretty much just the way to describe it is just another version of Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. Just a little bit of a dirty vetiver fragrance, not super dirty. I mean, they get a lot dirtier than this, but there's a little bit of freshness to it. So yeah, this is a nice fragrance, and this has way better performance than Grey Vetiver or the Guerlain Vetiver. And they don't have bad performance, but this is just, Dua really amped it up. So yeah, this is a great springtime scent for me. Dua did a good job on this one, I'm guessing, as far as closeness, because it smells like, those two that I keep mentioning. All right, Masa from Lattafa is a Ganymede twist. They added like a tropical mango note to it to put like a twist on the DNA, and I like what they did here. The quality on this is pretty high. It doesn't smell cheap, and projection and longevity are really good on this. And if you don't like Ganymede, you're not going to like this because it's got that Ganymede spaceship smell with just that mango tropical note added to it to put a little twist on it. And I like Ganymede, so I like this. I like this twist on it. I'm really glad they did that too because it's I have a bunch of Ganymede clones and I have the real Ganymede. So this is a real nice twist on it. It's got that mineral note that the Ganymede gives you, but it's got a little bit of the, like I said, some fruity tropicalness to it. There's some spices. There's like a leather note, sweet, musky, citrus. It's very ozonic. There's like a turpentine type smell to this too. Very interesting fragrance, but like I said, Ganymede is very polarizing, so this will be in that same category. You might not like this if you don't like Ganymede. You're sure not going to like this, and not everybody likes Ganymede. It seems like people really like Ganymede, or they hate Ganymede. It's really not a whole lot of in the middles. I'm sure there are plenty of in the middles, but it's mostly on one of those two camps. Next up is Montagne Imaginary, which is inspired by Imagination from LV. If you're a big Imagination fan, you probably love this one. It's really close to the original. I do have a decan of the original, and I stop in the Louis Vuitton store quite a bit by my house, and really close. Over 85%, more closer to 90 or so percent. So they did a good job on this one. But I'm just not a big Imagination fan like most people are. To me, I don't really like ginger, a bunch of ginger and tea and fragrances, and this has got that in spades. So that's not for me necessarily. It's some citruses that are nice in it, and then it's got a little bit of muskiness to it. I always get too, but it's fresh, citrus, aquatic, a little bit of green to it. That's why I like to wear it in the spring. Some good spices. But yeah, I'm just not a crazy over. I like Imagination. I think it's good, but to me, it's like a 7 out of 10 fragrance, which is a good fragrance in my rating, but I imagine most people put this way higher than that. So yeah, if you like Imagination, you're probably going to like this one. Really good interpretation of it. All right, Khair from Paris Corner is Imperial Valley from Gissa. I've never smelled the original, so I don't know how close this is, so I'm just going to judge it on standalone fragrance. I heard this is pretty close. a lot of Middle Eastern countries, this is like a signature scent, very popular in the Middle East. It's definitely a unique scent profile that I really enjoy. This is got like a green tone to it. I don't know why, but that's what makes me think of the spring, because there is a nice green tone to this. But there's a lot going on. It's citrus, oriental style, leathery, fresh, it's woody. Get these aromatic citruses right out of the gate, but there's this leather and oud right out of the gate, and then as it dries down, you pick up a little bit more of that, which kind of, you know, turns it a little heavier. But there's these fresh spices and these green notes into it that kind of uplift it, make it spring, along with the citrus and aromatics. And then as it dries down, it's got these animalic, woody, amber, earthy tones to it. So it's a pretty complex scent profile. This one smells kind of synthetic, but has great performance, and definitely leans pretty masculine to me. I love this scent profile. It's definitely got a Middle Eastern vibe to it, so if you're not into that Middle Eastern scent profile, you're probably not going to like this. But yeah, maybe someday I'll get my nose on the real thing, but I know I enjoy wearing this one. All right, next up is Samy Andraus Sensual Aura, which is a tropical wood from Montal clone, and I haven't smelled the original on this one, so I don't know how close it is. I just got a bunch of samples, and I did enjoy this one, so I'll just talk about this as a standalone, not knowing how close it is. It's fruity, sweet, tropical. There's definitely some oud in this, especially as it dries down. It's got some rose powdery notes in it, and some violet. It's got sort of musky and some leathery notes in it too as it dries down. So it does lean a little bit feminine, I'd say, but not too feminine for me. You could probably wear this in the summer too, but I like it in the springtime because it does got some like a dark oud and leather tones to it. So yeah, it's kind of synthetic smelling and a lot going on here, but I get really good performance, and I do enjoy the way this is kind of out in the air, how it smells. If you like spray it on you and put your nose right on it, it's okay, it's not too bad, but out in the air, the sillage it makes is just really nice. It's like a tropical, fruity, floral, spring, summer oud fragrance. Like this one, very enjoyable. Amalfi Mandarin from Dua. This is TF Mandarino di Amalfi, and this is about 85% close, maybe a little even more than that, with way better performance. Love this fragrance. I like this in spring because it's got some green tones to it, some herbal qualities I like, but this is also, it could be a summer scent. It does kind of paint a picture of you, just like this picture here on the Amalfi Coast with some lemons and some greenery in the background blowing in the wind. It's fresh, citrus, fruity, aquatic, and floral. There's some really nice white florals mixed in this too. Like I said, it's super green, kind of musky with some soft spices. This is a lovely fragrance. Good job by TF on this one, and a good job by Dua. Great job by Dua on getting this one down and giving better performance to it. I love this in the springtime. All right, next up is a generic perfumes version of JPG Le Male Lover. I haven't smelled the original on this. I can't say how close it is, but what I will say is this is dirt cheap on generic perfumes, and they're typically really close, like in the 90% range to most fragrances. And based on what I read about this fragrance, this is going to be pretty close. I think that fragrance was slept on. Maybe the name threw people off. It just never took off. I heard about it when it first came out, and I heard several reviewers say they liked it, but I had never smelled it. I just kind of threw this in the cart and really liked this one. It's sweet, fresh, creamy, synthetic, and spicy. It's got this white pepper, finger lime, and a ton of ambergris right out of the gate. And as it dries down, you get some vanilla and woods. It's kind of like a coconut lemonade with hints of vanilla, like wafer cookies. Like if you're drinking lemonade out at sea because it's a little aquatic, and you're eating vanilla wafer cookies. It's not really gourmandy, but it's like airy, sweet, and like a salty vanilla note to it. Very interesting fragrance. You could probably wear this in the summer too, but I kind of like with some of the base layer notes in this that pushes it towards the gourmandy area a little bit, but not really. It's not a gourmand. I like it better in the spring. It just works better for me. Performance in this is great. I'm hearing on the real one the performance isn't that good, but yeah, I love this scent profile. I'm surprised it got slept on so hard. That's 12 clone fragrances, and for all you that made it to the end, I really appreciate you.